This is the 2024 Tesla Cybertruck Foundation Series, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a full owner's review of it. We're going to be talking about all sorts of things that should be important to you, including the design, the style, the pricing, the features, how it drives, and the overall future of the Tesla Cybertruck. And I think the first thing that we need to address is the styling and design, which is a little bit controversial because this is by far, I think, the most unique looking vehicle on the road today. And unique can be taken as a good thing or a bad thing, however you look at it. There's a lot of people that hate the design of this, and there's a lot of people that love the design of it. Now, personally, I'm torn, but I think what makes the Cybertruck so cool is how ugly and futuristic it looks. And so the design is actually, it's a cold rolled stainless steel body, and this thing is supposedly bulletproof, rust proof, and dent proof. So while I'm not gonna shoot it up, I will confidently take a hammer and hit the door and see how it does. Should we do it? Should we see? So we've got our hammer here, and let's give it that's a little light tap, but I mean, those are some pretty heavy taps. Like, those would dent any vehicle, and there's absolutely nothing. That's pretty impressive. Like, not gonna lie, this thing definitely appears to be fully dent proof. The next thing about the Cybertruck that it just commands presence is the size of this thing. This thing is 227 inches long, which is about 18 and a half feet, which is absolutely massive, and you don't realize it unless you have something like a G63 parked next to it. Like so. So here you can see we've got a G63 parked next to the Cybertruck, and the Cybertruck is about 2 feet longer than the G63. And although this thing is in low mode right now, it's a lot sleeker than the G63, but it can easily be raised to be just as high as a G63. Now, let's get this thing out of here. That's way better, isn't it? Now we can just focus on this big stainless steel Cybertruck. So one big thing that we do need to discuss is how insanely expensive a Tesla Cybertruck is. Now we're going to cover US pricing and Canadian pricing. So in Canada, the Tesla Cybertruck Foundation Series starts at $141,900 with freight and PDI. The Cyber Beast in Canada, which is the high performance, high torque one, starts at $169,000 plus tax after the freight and PDI. Now in the US, it's a little bit cheaper. Prices have come down now that the Foundation Series has all been sold. So a base model Cybertruck in the US starts at $79,990 plus freight and PDI. The Cyber Beast is $20,000 more at $99,990. And they do sell an optional range extender, which increases the range by about 120 miles or 200 kilometers, and that costs $16,000 in the US or $22,000 in the Canadian market. Personally, electric truck, I don't think you need the range extender. You're really not going to be using this for towing or anything like that, and I think you'll be fine with the 500 kilometers or 340 miles of range that it comes on the standard edition. So now moving on to some of the storage and cool quirks of this. If you press there to open the Cybertruck, you'll see it pops open the door about an inch. And the one cool thing that I like about it is in that position, I'm putting my entire body weight on it, and you cannot close the door until you pull out, and then it allows you to close it. And that is the same on all 4 doors. So you can see here, same thing. I'm putting my entire body weight on it, and it will not close until you can hear some kind of a little electronic release. and then it allows you to close. And that's to prevent, you know, your fingers getting pinched, because it is kind of a little bit of a tight space, because, you know, with this stainless steel, a lot of people are worried, like, if your fingers get caught, will it cause damage? Will it cut off your fingers? Now, coming around the back of the Cybertruck and talking about the rear storage area. So this has a conventional truck bed, and it has a cargo bed length of 72.9 inches, 28.6 inches of height, and a total cargo space of 56.2 cubic inches. Now, the cool thing is it has this full power roll-up tonneau cover, which is controlled by some buttons right here. So there's 3 buttons, one which at the very bottom, if you press it, releases the tailgate down, and then there's 2 buttons to go up and down for the tonneau cover. So you can do one singular press, and you'll see it moving all the way back. It's gonna fold in and reveal the rear window. And cool thing about the Cybertruck storage is not only do you have the regular bed, but there is some additional storage back here. And this does lock as well if you leave your tonneau cover open but lock your truck. So that, some additional storage there. Another cool thing in the back is you do have actually these 3 electrical plugs, so you can power different devices from your Cybertruck. And the tailgate, although it's not power, it's extremely light. You can see just 2 fingers, and it is actually a soft close. So you can just attach it and let it soft close. And then, of course, to put the tonneau cover back, I believe it's a one singular touch, and it will roll and close itself completely like so. Now, another cool feature of the Cybertruck and its tonneau cover is actually how sturdy and supportive it is. This is not like your normal, like, cheap, breakable tonneau cover. And just to show you, Tesla advertises that this can safely have a capacity of 400 pounds on it. So you can see I'm jumping with my full body weight, and feels completely sturdy. It doesn't feel like it's gonna break, snap, move, or anything like that. So just adds to the full durability of the Cybertruck. So with the doors and the tailgate out of the way, I think it's time to show you the front trunk, or the Frunk. So we've got my Tesla app here, and I'm just gonna hit this to open the Frunk of the Cybertruck. And you can see not a whole ton of space back there. Obviously you can put, you know, some groceries, but this is not big enough to put a person in, although lots of people have attempted to sit in it or lay in it and close their front trunk unsuccessfully. But it does give you a little bit of additional cargo room. And another controversial thing is, as I mentioned on the doors, is these very sharp edges, and what would happen if you put your fingers in there, which, again, I will show you my carrot test. All right, here we go. The finger test. I'm nervous. Oh, it actually stopped and went back up. Quite surprising. But look at that. You'd be bleeding, that's for sure. So with the carrot test out of the way, you can actually open and close the Frunk with this hidden button here that most Cybertruck owners don't actually know is there. That's not in a lot of the reviews. So we'll just click that and allow the Frunk to close itself, revealing that super cool daytime running light bar. But that is actually not your headlights. Your headlights are these LEDs right there and right there. And let me tell you, they are bright. So moving on to the interior of the Cybertruck, and really I gotta say, the inside, there's not much surprising about it. It's very Tesla. It's very minimalistic. It feels, I wouldn't say intimidating. It's very, if you're used to driving a Tesla Model S, X, Y, or 3, you're gonna feel right at home on the Cybertruck. Probably the most unique thing about sitting here is the almost like square-shaped steering wheel and the huge dash. Like, it feels like it is 5 or 6 feet from where you are to the front of the windshield. And the super cool infotainment display, which again is very Tesla, But for those of you who aren't familiar with maybe a display like this, I'll walk you through some of the features in it right now. Otherwise, it's like I said, it's very Tesla. It's very familiar, and although this is like a very large vehicle, I feel like driving it, it's very simple. It's not intimidating. It's very easy to drive, and I'm looking forward to showing you my driving portion in it, so you can see some of the unique quirks about the steer-by-wire and things like that. But for now, let's go through the infotainment screen with you to show you a little bit more about that. All right, so here we are on the infotainment screen of the Cybertruck. And I think I'm going to start with my favorite quirk of it, and that is Elon's sense of humor, which if you are on the main screen here and you just tap the windows, you get a little bit of sense of humor of Mr. Musk from the Tesla reveal of the Cybertruck back in 2019. But this is essentially your control center for the Cybertruck. And the one thing I love about it is it shows everything in real time. So, you know, it shows, for example, the rear door is open because I've got it open right now to allow to film. But just to show you, like, the windows are up. If I put my window down, the window goes down on the screen. So I love just the live view of everything there. And of course, you can control everything from here as well. So you can open and close your charge port. You can open and close the tonneau cover. You can open the tailgate. You can open the frunk from here. You can do pretty well everything from this home screen. But let's go through this screen here. So you've got a controls center, which you can search, but you can do everything like fold your mirrors, change your ride height, tonneau cover, headlights, glove box, sentry mode, car wash mode. All that's controlled from there. Dynamics, this is where you control your comfort, sport, customs, or off-road setting. Off-road setting is very cool. Allows you to raise the vehicle for a total of, I believe, 16 inches of ground clearance, which is absolutely insane. Can change your acceleration modes, ride and handling modes, and things like that. There's a towing and hauling mode, which is nice to have, but I don't think many Cybertruck owners are actually going to be using it. You've got your charging setup, which shows your current charge available, as well as changing the settings for that. You've got an outlets mode, which allows you to put power to any of the outlets in the frunk or in the rear tailgate. You've got your obvious autopilot setup and settings, which is all, again, very standard if you're familiar with Tesla. Your lock settings, so this is setting up your keys, your phone, or your Tesla app as a key, child lock, and different notifications for that. This is your lights, headlights, auto turn signals, which again, I love. I'll just show you to put on your right turn signal. It immediately shows what is in your blind spot on your right side, and same thing for the left side. Love that. Another cool thing is you've got this accent lighting all around the interior of the vehicle, which you can fully customize through here, through this entire color wheel, so endless colors there. Oops. Display, this is just standard settings. Turn off the fan came on. Trips, that's all standard. Navigation settings, scheduling for preconditioning, charging, safety settings, service settings, TPMS light. You've got your built-in owner's manual, towing mode, adjusting headlights, all your standard stuff that Teslas have. You've also got software updates, connecting to Wi-Fi, connecting to Bluetooth. And now let's go to the fun menu. So we've got a fun menu here, which allows you to do all sorts of different stuff. It's got all your heating settings like defrost, heated seats, heated steering wheel, climate, heated wipers, but there's a ton of stuff, as you can see. You've got a full rear entertainment behind me. You've got your navigation, which again, typical Tesla, is very quick, very intuitive. You can search anything. Let's just put in Best Buy, and it'll immediately route you there. 17 minutes, 11 kilometers. You'll arrive at 4:01 p.m., and you can end the trip. Super, super good navigation system. You've got all your dash cameras built in. It's recording, left, right, rear, Love that that is in Tesla. That's an amazing feature to have. Got all your front cameras, rear cameras, and of course they're 4K. They're an excellent camera system. You've got your energy settings, phone settings, messages. You can even join a Zoom call. You can log into Zoom and have a Zoom meeting, and the camera for that is just above your rear view mirror. Love that. Not that I'm joining any Zoom meetings anytime soon. You've got your full arcade games. Love that. Toy box. Love that, with all your light show, colorizer, emissions control, which is the farting based on turning on the turn signals, romance mode. Super cool. You obviously have an internet browser, Spotify, Bluetooth. You've got different, it's called TuneIn, that's part of Tesla's subscription service they provide you with. Karaoke, Tidal, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Audible, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, and I'm sure many more settings if I wanted to play around with it. So in turn, or in closing about this, the infotainment screen, very Tesla, very cool, very easy to use, responsive, quick, and I think one of the best screens and softwares probably available in the car market today. So currently you can only order the Cybertruck in 2 configurations, the base or the Cyber Beast. Beyond that, there's no real option list. There's no colors, although I have seen Tesla selling from the dealership a vinyl wrap package where you can do this in a stealth or a gloss black for $6,500, which I think is crazy. This should be an easy car to wrap, but that's pretty well it. There's basically, for argument's sake, the Cybertruck comes one way. You're gonna buy the base or the Cyber Beast, and that's it. So with that, I think it's time to get this thing out on the road, take it for a drive, and give you my thoughts before we come back and tell you what I think about the Cybertruck and should you buy one. So we're gonna start the drive video in this Cybertruck by demonstrating to you Tesla's full self-drive software, which I've actually never used before. So I'm gonna show you for the first time how to use it. So with the destination punched into your navigation and you driving, you're just gonna hold this button here. Let go, and now full self-drive is activated. So again, you'll see my feet are not touching the brake or the gas. Oh, this is scary. It put on the turn signal for me. And again, my hands are not involved. My feet are not involved. They're not touching the brake or the gas. And I gotta say, I'm quite nervous doing this. I've used Tesla's autopilot system before, but not full self-drive. I am nervous. Feet not involved. Make sure you guys can see that I am not using them. Obviously, it's waiting for traffic to come. And here it goes, all on its own. No feet, no steering. It did that lane change for me. It's got all the signal light recognition. And again, you'll see no feet. I'm not touching the steering wheel. I have a full video dedicated to reviewing Tesla's full self-drive in the Cybertruck. So if you're interested in watching that, click the link in the video description or in the top right-hand corner of this video right now. Now, one of the most unique things about the Cybertruck is its steer-by-wire system, which I'm going to explain to you means this steering wheel, along with the rear wheel steering, doesn't even turn a full 360 degrees. So when we come up to a turn up at the top of the hill here, I'm going to show you what I mean. But when we come to a stop here, I'll just show you. So this is straight. That is as far right as the steering wheel turns. It will not go more. And that's as far left as the steering wheel turns. Buttons here to put on your turn signals. And like I mentioned, that puts on the blind spot camera over there, which is super cool. I actually really think that's handy. and then it comes off just by itself. And in terms of performance, like if you punch it, 6,600 pounds, this thing freaking moves like you wouldn't believe. I'm sure you guys have seen the video of this racing the 911 while it's towing a 911, and it's still faster. Let me tell you, this thing is seriously fast. And we'll do one little quick pull here for you guys. You can see very, very, very quick acceleration to the speed limit. And I actually love this flat bottom and top steering wheel because you can kind of just hold it like this, and it's got a really nice feel to it. I actually love it. Of course, heated steering wheel too, I'll point out. Very nice on a day like today. So the Cybertruck is insanely fast and garners an insane amount of attention. Like when you're in traffic or you're at a red light, everybody stares at this thing. It is crazy. But beyond that, I mean, it's typical Tesla. Like you drive it, you don't feel any different than a Model S, X, Y, 3. Feels very Tesla in terms of the drive experience, the infotainment screen. There's nothing that really stands out and makes this thing difficult to drive at all, which I think it's kind of a good thing. Like, you know, you get into some of these crazy exotic cars and it could be quite intimidating, and you don't get that at all in the Cybertruck. You get very comfortable very quickly, which I think is a good thing in this case. Plus, look at this massive, massive sunroof. Doesn't open, but nice sky view roof to bring lots of natural light inside of your Cybertruck. All right, so back from our drive in the Tesla Cybertruck, and you can see obviously this thing gets a ton of attention and also super easy to drive, lots of power. I'd even consider it to be a fun vehicle to drive. Now, personally, my thoughts on buying one of these, I think this thing is going to be subject to an insane amount of depreciation relatively quickly. I think once these Foundation Series sell, Tesla's going to drop the price. They're going to do a rear-wheel drive variant, and you're going to be able to buy one of these in Canada brand new for like 90 grand. And I think from there, it's even going to depreciate. So today, who do I think buys this thing today? Well, if you got a ton of money and you absolutely want one, yeah, it's probably the coolest thing you can buy for 150 grand or whatever the number is. But personally, I think it's overpriced. I think it's ugly. I think it's cool, but I think it's a lot cooler at half the price. At 70, 80, somewhere in there. I think this is like an insane car. At 150, or you know, a Cyber Beast being like 200 with taxes, not so cool. I'd buy a lot of other things instead. But in summary, I think the Cybertruck is probably the coolest vehicle to come out in 2024. And I don't think we're going to see anything else like this for a number of years. And it's going to have to come from an innovator like Elon Musk as well. So with that, let me know your comments down below about the Tesla Cybertruck. Would you buy one? Do you own one? Would you test drive one? Do you love it? Do you hate it? I'm really curious what you guys think and what else you want to see us do with this Cybertruck while we have it. So let me know in the comments down below, and thanks so much for watching. All right, if you enjoyed this video, if you could do me a huge favor, click the like button down below, check out some of our other videos on the channel, and be sure to subscribe. It literally takes 1 second, and it helps our channel out grow immensely. I actually like that one the best. The final one's the best.